Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So Dandavad pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for the study session today. It's a Saturday. It's not a regular day, but yet you all have joined. Very grateful to all of you. I thought since we missed the session yesterday, we'll have it today. Okay, so we were studying teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So we continue. We'll start with prayers. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Guru Dushe Namaha Panchatattvaatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tarale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So then pronouns to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for today's study session on this Saturday afternoon in India, at least 12 o'clock. Okay, so we were studying the introduction section. Today we'll try to complete the introduction. The essential point of the introduction was how Srila Prabhupada is describing to us the purpose of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. There are three internal reasons that we discussed already. And we also discussed the one major external reason. Yajnai Sankirtana Praye Yajantihi Su Medasaha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually appeared to give us this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Simply by chanting of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we'll be able to attain perfection in this lifetime itself. It's possible. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's main incarnation in this age of Kali as the most munificent, as the most magnanimous avatar, right? We say Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate. One who is giving Krishna's love or love for Krishna very easily through the distribution of the holy names, through the propagation of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna Prema Pradhayate, giving of Krishna Prema. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushe Namaha. His name is Gaura and he is non-different from Krishna himself. And he is called Krishna Chaitanya. He is Krishna himself and he is known by the name Krishna Chaitanya. Namne Gaura. Dvishe Namaha, like that it is mentioned, right? So, and he also studied how Yasya Deve Parabhaktir Tata Yata Deve Tata Guru, right? This transcendental knowledge which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, right? That can be understood only through the medium of a bona fide spiritual master. He also saw how even Lord Sri Krishna himself accepted a spiritual master when he came to this material world, when he took his avatar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself took a spiritual master, right? So Krishna took, he was in Gurukul. He actually learned lessons, various arts, 64 forms of arts, etc. from Sandipani Muni, right? Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, until the time he got initiated as Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he was called Nimai Pandit. He used to actually defeat all of the people of Navadvip in scholarly debates, etc. Right? But when he went when he went and got the initiation from his spiritual master Shri Ishwara Puri, that time only his real propagation of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra that started. Only after he actually got this initiation from his spiritual master Shri Ishwara Puri, right? So all of us require a bona fide spiritual master in order to direct us in the right path. How can we attain Krishna Prema? So we know the goal, Krishna Prema, and we know where we are currently. We are currently Yoga Vritti. To develop the Seva Vritti, to engage in service of the Lord and his devotees, and to attain the goal of Krishna Prema, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to hear the instructions from a bona fide spiritual master and follow those instructions in our life. And in this way, when we please our spiritual masters, automatically we will please Krishna. We will become dear to Krishna. So why all this information is given? This information is already given by Prabhupada to attract our attention, to move it from the illusory Maya to what is really beneficial for us in the long term, what is beneficial for us as a soul, like that. Okay. Oh, is it volume is weak? Okay, one second. Oh, yeah. Okay. Seems like my volume is really down. Okay. I hope it's fine now. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's move ahead. So let me share my screen and then we will go ahead. We'll try to complete the introduction and then we'll also try to do the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, Karpagavalli Mataji, go ahead. In Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandatma.
Hare Krishna.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a great deal of information given about the Vaikuntha planetary systems, which are beyond the material universe. Similarly, a great deal of inconceivable information is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Any attempt to arrive at this information through experimental knowledge will fail. The knowledge simply has to be accepted. According to the Vedic method, sabda or transcendental sound is regarded as evidence. Sound is very important in Vedic understanding. For if it is pure, it is accepted as authoritative. Even in the material world, we accept a great deal of information sent thousands of miles by telephone or radio. In this way, we also accept sound as evidence in our daily lives. Although we cannot see the informant, we accept this information as valid on the basis of sound. Sound vibration then is very important in the transmission of Vedic knowledge. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Vedas inform us that beyond this cosmic manifestation, there are extensive planets in the spiritual sky. This material manifestation is regarded as only a small portion of the total creation. The material manifestation includes not only this universe, but innumerable others as well. But all the material universes combined constitute only 1/4 of the total creation. The remaining 3/4 is situated in the spiritual sky. In that sky, innumerable planets float, and these are called Vaikuntha Lokas. In every Vaikuntha Loka, Narayana presides with his 4 expansions, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. This Shankarshana states, Krishna Dasa Kaviraja in the 8th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita is Lord Nityananda. As stated before, it is in his form as Mahavishnu that the Lord manifests.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay. All right. So here in these 2 paragraphs, again, Prabhupada is reiterating that very important point. What is the point that Prabhupada is reiterating here? Now, Prabhupada is reiterating the point that one has to hear from a bona fide spiritual master, and that is the only way of understanding the transcendental knowledge. One has to hear from a bona fide spiritual master. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Right? Tadvidi pranipatena. Right? What should we inquire about? We should inquire about spiritual subject matters. And when we inquire about spiritual subject matters, in humble frame of mind, with submissiveness, and also render service to such a devotee, then what happens? Pariprashnena sevaya, then upadekshanti te jnanam. The spiritual master will enlighten us with transcendental knowledge. Jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Because they already know the transcendental knowledge. They've already realized the transcendental knowledge. And hence they will give us that knowledge. And what is the praman? That is Shabda praman. Hearing from a bona fide spiritual master. We are not going for mental speculation. We are not going for Aroha Panta. That means trying to find out what cannot be the option, what can be the option. Going upward is very, very difficult, right? Just like it is mentioned in the ocean, right? However, an expert a swimmer may be, right? He will not be able to cross the ocean by his own capacity, especially if the ocean is very turbulent, right? This material world is so much full of sense gratification. It's like a very turbulent ocean. And we are all caught up in this Bhava Sagar, right? We are caught up in this material world, which is compared to an ocean of nescience, right? So that time it is not possible even for an expert swimmer to swim across and go. But if an expert who's in spiritual master is actually giving his hand, right? And then he takes us onto the boat. And from that boat, it becomes very easy for one to cross over the ocean of material existence, right? So that Bhava Sagar or this ocean of material existence can simply be crossed only when one hears the transcendental knowledge through Shabda Praman, right? Through Shabda or sound vibration. And in this way, one is able to go back to Godhead. And the next paragraph, Prabhupada is talking about Tripada Vibhuti and Ekapada Vibhuti. This entire material world that we find is so much big and expansive that in itself constitutes only one fourth, right? 1/4 of the entire creation. That means what constitutes a greater part of the creation is that which is never annihilated. What is that which is never annihilated? That is the spiritual world. That spiritual world comprises 3/4 of the creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And then Prabhupada also talks about the first expansion of the Supreme Lord in the form of Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva, right? We also studied in the beginning of the session itself that in all the yugas, generally the incarnations are 4, right? Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Sudarshan, like that. The incarnation is always 4, but only in Kali Yuga, the Lord has appeared in his 5 features. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, then Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram, then Advaita Acharya is a combination of Sadashiva and Mahavishnu, and Gadadhar is Srimati Radharani herself, and Srivas Thakur is Narada Muni himself, who is the Bhakti Shakti of the Lord. Right, that. All right, let's move forward. Who wants to read? As stated before. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. Hare Krishna. Okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll read next. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Bol.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavats. As stated before.
As stated before, it is in his form as Mahavishnu that the Lord manifests the material universe, just as a husband and wife combine to beget offspring. Mahavishnu combines with his wife Maya or material nature. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 14.4, where Krishna says, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya Sambhavantiyah Tasma Mahadhyonir Aham Bija Pradapita. It should be understood that all spices of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. Vishnu impregnates Maya, the material nature, simply by glancing at her. This is the spiritual method. Materially, we are limited to impregnating by only one particular part of our body. But the Supreme Lord Krishna or Mahavishnu can impregnate that by any part simply by glancing. The Lord can conceive. The Lord can conceive countless living entities in the womb of material nature. The Brahma Samhita. The Brahma
Brahma
Samhita
Samhita
confirms
confirms
that the spiritual body of the Supreme Lord is so powerful that any part of his body can perform the function of any other part. We can touch only with our hands or skin, but Krishna can touch just by glancing. We can see only with our eyes. We cannot touch or smell with him. Krishna, however, can smell and also eat with his eyes. When food is offered to Krishna, we do not see him eating, but he eats simply by glancing at the food. We cannot imagine how things work in the spiritual world, where everything is spiritual. It is not that Krishna does not eat or that we imagine that he eats. He actually eats, but his eating is different from ours. Our eating process will be similar to his. When we are completely on the spiritual platform, on that platform, every part of the body can act on behalf of any other part. Vishnu
Hare
does
Krishna.
not. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, so there is a beautiful verse in Brahma Samhita. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sadujjwala vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti. That means that's what Prabhupada is describing here. With just simply by glancing, Lord Krishna can eat our foodstuffs, right? Every day we offer boga to the Lord. And what does the Lord do? The Lord simply glances on the foodstuffs, and in this way, the Lord accepts the offering. Isn't it? Similarly, we all know the pastime of Raghunandan Thakur also. Raghunandan Thakur, what did he do? His father actually asked him to offer. And he was a young boy of, just 5-year-old young boy. And then what happened? He just went into the altar and he offered. He offered the boga saying, Krishna, please come and eat. And then Krishna ate everything by glancing. But this little boy did not know that. And he was crying that, oh, my parents will be unhappy with me. They'll be angry with me. Why are you not eating? Like that. So when such kind of emotion was exhibited by this little boy, what did Lord Krishna do? Lord Krishna personally came and ate the boga offering. And then when he went out with the empty plate, generally we come out with prasadam, right? When we come out of the altar, we bring nice plate filled with prasadam, so that we can have that prasadam, isn't it? So when Raghunandan came with an empty plate, his mother said, where is the prasadam? And this boy is saying, everything the Lord ate. Okay. And then in the afternoon, the father comes back, right? Mukunda comes back, and then the mother tells the father that, whatever Raghunandan offered, he's saying that the Lord Krishna has fully eaten himself. And then they have never heard anything like this. So what happened? Mukunda stands behind in the altar, behind the curtain. And then our Raghunandan, they give him a plate of laddus to offer to Lord Krishna. He goes inside the altar, he offers the laddu. He does not know any mantras. He does not know Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauradhishe Nama. He does not know any prayers. He just tells, oh Lord, please accept this laddu. Okay, and then and Krishna is happily accepting the laddu by glancing at it. But he's saying, no, you have to eat it. You have to eat it. And then Krishna comes, personally takes one laddu and starts eating. Right? And then our Mukunda, who's Raghunandan's father, who's standing behind the curtain, he makes like, some sound. What is happening? This is the first time I'm seeing something like this. I've been serving the Lord for so long. I've never experienced this. He made some exclamatory sound, and then what happens? The Lord immediately left half the laddu on the plate, and then he became the deity form. And then, he really understood that Raghunandan is a great devotee, right? For him, the Lord personally came and took that laddu. And that half laddu, that temple is there in Navadvip. So in this way, this is the loving reciprocation between the Lord and the devotee, right? Sometimes we think that I mean, one of the devotees were giving me in a class. They were saying every time if Krishna were to eat everything that we offer, and probably we would stop offering also, because Krishna is eating everything. So Krishna is taking into consideration all of the conditioned souls, right? And he is magnanimously giving back the prasadam, right? So that we can also enjoy the prasadam. At the same time, it becomes sanctified food. But then the point that we need to understand here is Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti. The Lord eats with his eyes. That's why it is said in Ishopanishad also, right? The Lord is always eternally present in Goloka Vrindavan Dham. At the same time, he is present in the temple as Archa Vigraha form. At the same time, it is even present in our home as Archa Vigraha form. He is present in our heart as the Paramatma. So in this way, the Lord takes various avatars. Because he is the Supreme Lord, he can be present in as many places as he likes. Right? When Narada Muni went to Dwaraka, he actually saw Lord Shri Krishna in 16,108 temples. He was there doing 16,108 different activities. Right? It is not that Krishna is one person. When he expands himself, also he is doing the same activity in every place. No, Krishna does several activities. Right? In one palace, Krishna was talking with his son. In another palace, he was administering the responsibilities of the his kingly responsibilities. In another palace, he was playing a game with his wives. So in this way, in different palaces, Krishna was doing various activities, and Narada Muni was surprised how the Lord is able to expand into 16,108 times. And not only that, there were 16,108 different palaces, and all the queens were accommodated, and each queen had one son. Right? So in this way, Krishna was personally present with everybody. And we also know in the Rasa Leela, like when Krishna was dancing with the gopis, everybody, and this was not just 16,108, right? This is like millions of gopis, right? And Krishna was personally present with every gopi, and every gopi thought that Krishna is only looking at me and is dancing with me. So in this way, we can understand that Krishna can perform any function through any of his angas, right? The Lord's senses are spiritual. And also, every individual jiva, he feels a connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to his level of surrender. Eta maam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamiham. Right? Otherwise, the Duryodhana and Karna and all, they saw the Lord, they saw Lord Krishna in front of them, but they could not appreciate Krishna, right? Because they did not have that bhava in their heart. Whereas Arjuna, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Kunti Maharani, and all of those devotees, they had that bhava in their heart, so they could understand that this is Krishna himself, and that's why they took proper guidance and they perfected their lives in this way, right? So it all depends on how much we are surrendered to the Lord, how much do we have faith in the Lord, and the Lord reciprocates accordingly. Okay, Harjeet, Mataji, Prabhuji, who's this? You can switch on your camera if possible, and you can please read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Danvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Thank you for joining. Please do it.
Hare Krishna. Vishnu does not require anything in order to create. He does not require the goddess Lakshmi in order to give birth to Brahma. For Brahma is born from lotus flower that grows from the navel of Vishnu. The goddess Lakshmi sits at the feet of Vishnu and serves him. In this material world, sex is required to produce children, but in the spiritual world, a man can produce as many children as he likes without having to take help from his wife. So there is no sex there. Because we have no experience with spiritual energy, we think that Brahma's birth from navel of Vishnu is simply a fictional story. We are not aware that spiritual energy is so powerful that it can do anything and everything. Material energy is dependent on certain laws, but spiritual energy is fully independent. Shall I continue, Haribol?
You can continue, Mataji, but just give me like 2 minutes. So this one is, we call Brahma Swayambhu. Swayambhu means what? He was not born by the combination of Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi Devi. So it is said that even this entire material universes, they were all created simply because Lord Vishnu glanced on Rama Devi. And that glance itself is through Sadashiv. And through Sadashiv's glance, what happens? The entire, Maya Devi or Parvati Devi actually creates this entire Mahatattva. And then by the presence, because of Lord Vishnu's expansion into Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, and Karanodakashaya Vishnu, universes are all created. The Mahatattva is created by the glance, and then the universes are all created from Mahavishnu's pores. And then when Karanodakashaya Vishnu inhales and exhales, the universes are created. And then the Karanodakashaya Vishnu, he enters into each universe so created. And then he lies down in the causal ocean. It's called Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And from this Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, there is a from the navel of this Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, there is a stem that goes, right? And there is a beautiful lotus there. And from that lotus, who comes out? Brahma comes out. That's why Brahma is called Swayambhu, right? We also see he's one of the Mahajans, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, like that. So why is he called Swayambhu? Swayambhu means he's directly born out of Lord Vishnu through his navel, right? And Prabhupada is mentioning here that we don't understand that, right? Because we are only aware of offspring or children being born in this world by sexual union between the father and the mother, or between a man and a woman, right? And that at that time, the offspring is, or the soul, when that particular act actually attracts a soul according to the desire or the consciousness of the parents. That is why it is said that one has to have, at that time, one needs to have proper consciousness, right? It is recommended one chants 50 rounds so as to attract a Krishna conscious soul, right, to the womb of the mother, like that, right? But Lord is independent and Swarat. Lord does not need to follow these things, right? The Lord has actually given this so that not only is the creator the best creator, but like even if we create a machine in this world, right, the machine can do the work that we want the machine to do, but that's it, right? Even if, for example, a robot, sometimes the robot is created, the robot does all the work of some 4 or 5 people together, like that. There is a lot of job opportunities also gone, like that they say. But then the robot cannot create anything, right? But the Lord's creation is so much that the Lord has created Brahma, and Brahma has created so many sub creation, right? We can say that we are all descendants of Brahmaji, right? Brahma is the sub creator, and Brahma himself, his creation itself, is empowered and given a process by which further sub creation can take place, right? He actually instituted a process, right, by which further subcreation can happen without his being involved in it, like that, right? So in this way, the Lord is so powerful, right? We cannot compare ourselves to the Lord, that I'm also creating something, right? Whatever we are creating, the little bit of even the robots and the scientific inventions, etc., that we are saying are so infinitesimal, and moreover, they don't have the capacity to reproduce, right? But the Lord's creation is such that the Lord produces, creates the initial creation, and then there is sub-creation by Brahmaji, right? And it feels that Brahma is only the creator. And even Narada Muni was asking Brahmaji in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, I think you are the Lord, because you only seem to be creating everything. And then Brahma says, no, I get the power to sub-create by the mercy of Lord Vishnu. So in this way, the Lord is not insecure that, oh, why all the credit is going to somebody else? I am doing the work, right? The Lord is situated in Goloka Vrindavan. The Lord is situated in our heart. The Lord does the preservation. The Lord does the creation. The Lord does the annihilation, everything. But through his empowered representatives, because the Lord wants to give the credit to others. Right? The Lord does not want to amass the credit. That is the difference between spiritual consciousness and material consciousness. Right? Because we are used to a certain way in which creation takes place, we are not able to believe that the Lord simply, when he thinks of sub-creation, he creates Brahmaji. Brahmaji comes out of his navel. And then Brahmaji does tapa. He hears that. He does tapasya for thousands of years. And then he understands, okay, but the purpose of my creation is that I have to do the secondary creation. And in that way, taking guidance and help from the Lord, he creates this entire material universe. And that also requires the help of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, and Karanodakashaya Vishnu. So Brahma is not independently the creator. Brahma is empowered with certain powers to create jivas, or at least the bodies, with the 5 elements like Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kam. Right? In this way, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Using that, these bodies are created. And then the Lord only enters each of the jiva as the Paramatma, right? Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. And in that way only, the entire material creation functions, right? Only because of the permeation of consciousness by the presence of the Lord within each of the living entities, like that. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, Mataji, you only can continue. Who was the reading once again? Harjeet Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Countless universe resides like seeds within the skin pores of Mahavishnu, and when we exhale, they are all manifested. In the material world, we have no experience of such a things, but we do experience a perverted reflection in the phenomenon of perspiration. We cannot imagine, however, the duration of one breath of Mahavishnu for within one breath of all universes are created and annihilated. This is stated in the Brahma Samhita. Lord Brahma lives only for the duration of one breath, and according to our time, the and according to the our time scale of this is
4,320,000 years.
1,000 years, yeah. Constitute only 12 hours for Brahma, and Brahma lives 100 of his years. Yet the whole life of Brahma is contained within one breath of Mahavishnu. Thus, it is not possible for us to imagine the breathing power of Mahavishnu, who is but a partial manifestation of Lord Nityananda. This the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita explained in the ninth verse.
Yeah. So these are all explanations of the Mangalacharan verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right? Yesterday we were talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being Shri Radha Krishna Pranay Kritir Ladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatmanav Abhibhuvi Pradeha Vedam Gatotau Chaitanyakyam Prakatamaduna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Duti Solitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Like this, these are all the introductory verses which gives an introduction of who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. Right, the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, is Radha and Krishna combined form. Hence, whatever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving instructions, we have to give the same importance as that of the instructions given by Krishna to Arjuna. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna. Right? Generally, they all, like most of the Indians, they all know Krishna. Right? Of course, when Prabhupada went to the Western world, they did not know who was Jagannath. Right? When Malti Mataji found that 3 dolls, small dolls of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, she just brought it to Prabhupada saying, Prabhupada, who are these? Right? She didn't know. But at least in India, we know that we know Krishna is Lord. Right? But until we came into this mission, we came into this movement called International Society for Krishna Consciousness, instituted by Prabhupada. We didn't know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Right? Prabhupada only actually taught us that the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. Right? So all of these purports of Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially the first few verses, which are the introductory verses called the Mangalacharan prayers. We've been reading a few of them and by-hearting it in the last couple of days. Right? These verses actually describe where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are the expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Sankarshana Karanato Ishai, right? Who's Sankarshan, who's Pradyumna, who's Aniruddha, who's the first expansion of Nityananda Prabhu. So by this we know that it is not like the creation just happened. They say Big Bang theory, right? Something broke open and the creation just happened. It is not so simple, right? Because any small thing also which has to be created, so much of effort has to go in. Right? A person has to spend so much of time and energy and intelligence to create something. And how is it that this entire material universe, which functions so perfectly well, how could it have been created by some big bang, right? So that's what it is. So this gives us the importance of this material creation and how much the Lord has played a part in this material creation, like that. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead. In the 10th and 11th verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji Pranam.
Hare Krishna Pranam.
In the 10th and 11th verses, Krishnadasa Kaviraja describes Garbhodakashayi Vishnu and Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, successive plenary expansions of Mahavishnu. Brahma appears upon a lotus growing from the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and within the stem of that lotus are so many planetary systems. Then Brahma creates the whole of human society, animal society, everything. Kshirodakashayi Vishnu lies on the milk ocean within the universe, of which he is the controller and maintainer. Thus, Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, and when the time for annihilation arrives, Shiva will finish everything. In the first 11 verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami thus discusses Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Sri Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord Nityananda as Balarama, the first expansion of Krishna. Then in the 12th and 13th verses, he describes Advaita Acharya, who is another principal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's and an incarnation of Mahavishnu. Thus, Advaita Acharya is also the Lord, or more precisely, an expansion of the Lord. The word Advaita means non-dual, and his name is such because he is non-different from the Supreme Lord. He is also called Acharya, teacher, because he disseminated Krishna consciousness. In this way, he is just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself, he appeared as a devotee to teach people in general how to love Krishna. Similarly, although Advaita Acharya is the Lord, he appeared just to distribute the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Thus, he is also the Lord incarnated as a devotee. In the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, Krishna is manifested in 5 different features known as Panchatattva, to whom Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj offers his obeisances in the 14th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna and his associates appear as devotees of the Supreme Lord in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advaita Acharya, Sri Gadadhar Prabhu, and Srivas Prabhu. In all cases, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of energy for all his devotees. Since this is the case, if we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the successful execution of Krishna consciousness, we are sure to make progress. In a devotional song, Narottama Das Thakura sings, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, please have mercy upon me. There is no one who is as merciful as you. My plea is most urgent because your mission is to deliver all fallen souls, and no one is more fallen than I. Therefore, I beg priority." With verse 15, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins offering his obeisances directly to Krishna himself. Krishnadas Kaviraja was an inhabitant of Vrindavana and a great devotee. He had been living with his family in Katwa, a small town in the district of Burdwan in Bengal. He worshipped Radha Krishna with his family, and once, when there was some misunderstanding among his family members about devotional service, he was advised by Nityananda Prabhu in a dream to leave home and go to Vrindavan. Although he was very old, he started out that very night and went to live in Vrindavana. While he was there, he met some of the 6 Goswamis, the principal disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was requested to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita by the devotees of Vrindavana. Although he began this work at a very old age, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, he finished it. Today, it remains the most authoritative book on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy and life. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was living in Vrindavana, there was not very many temples. At that time, the 3 principal temples were those of Madana Mohana, Govindaji, and Gopinatha. As a resident of Vrindavana, Krishnadasa Kaviraj offers his respects to the deities in these temples and requests God's favor. My progress in spiritual life is very slow, so I'm asking your help. In the 15th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadasa offers his obeisances to the Madana Mohana Vigraha, the deity who can help us progress in Krishna consciousness. In the execution of Krishna consciousness, our first business is to know Krishna and our relationship with him. To know Krishna is to know oneself, and to know oneself is to know one's relationship with Krishna. Since this relationship can be learned by worshipping the Madana Mohana Vigraha, Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami first establishes his relationship with him. When this
Hare
is
Krishna.
established, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, very important section. What is this section? It's talking about what should be our mood and consciousness when we are even studying this Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, it's a little bit of a description about Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj. Right before that, very important, right? For example, if we go in the street, right, there are so many beggars who are sitting, right? All of them are asking, give me money, like that, right? But when we see a beggar, right, he's got no hands, no arms, also no legs, also, almost crawling, and he's not even asking for mercy. Even then, our heart, becomes this thing, and we also we give something, whatever we have, little bit, even though that person may not be asking anything also, But we see that that person is in such a condition that he can't do anything, he cannot even beg. In such a condition, if a person is lying down on the road like that, then automatically our heart gets melted. And actually in Kali Yuga, that is our state, right? Because what is it? We don't have anything. We have nothing that we can call our own. We don't have any Sukruti. We don't have any pious credits. We think we are enjoying our life. We are in such a state where we have lost our legs and arms and doing anything. We're not capable of doing anything in spiritual life. And yet, we don't even want to pray for mercy. Such kind of foolish people, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is saying, and Narottam Das Thakur is also singing in as a song, saying that our claim is the most highest, right? Because automatically, when such a person has no knowledge, is so useless, does not even know what is the objective of life, like that, right? Like a beggar with no arms, no legs, nothing, right? He's just lying down on the floor like that, hopeless. Such kind of people automatically attract the mercy. Right? Even they attract the mercy of some conditioned souls also. That this person is not capable of anything. Let me give him something. Right? Like that, such beggars get something also. Isn't it? Similarly, the Lord, like Narottam Das Thakur singing in his prayer, that my claim is first. Because I am born in Kali Yuga, I have no love, I have no devotion. So you are my only hope, like that. So he's saying my plea is most urgent. And your mission is to deliver most fallen people. Right? We say, Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balo Kanakaro Ami Boro Dukhi. Right? Narottam Das Thakur only singing Kripa Balo Kanakaro Ami Boro Dukhi. I am very, very sad, right? In this material world, I am drowning in the material world. I don't know how to come out. Right? When somebody is so fallen, I have no hope. Right, to such hopeless people, who gives a shelter? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has incarnated to give shelter only, especially to such people. So that is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he had some problem in his own family, right, he immediately left for Vrindavan Dham, and he was asked to write this Chaitanya Charitamrita by the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan Dham. But he was thinking, I'm very old. What will I write? Right? But we can understand that although he was very old, he could write the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita because he had received the mercy of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So in this way, mercy flows down from the Lord to us through his pure devotees. Right? The mercy, it's not like, okay, when the Lord wants, he will call me. No, it's not like that. Right? Whatever be our state, what we should do, we should try our best to serve Guru and Gauranga, and we will be empowered by the Lord and his devotees. And then Prabhupada talks about the 3 predominant deities of Vrindavan: Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govindji, and Radha Gopinathji. Right? Radha Madan Mohan is called the Sambandha Vigraha. That means, first and foremost, we need to understand who I am and who is the Lord. Right? Otherwise, we will not know what we have to do, where we have to go, what is the process to go there. Right? First of all, we need to understand. Right? I have to go there because this is my relationship with the Lord. Right? Jivera Swarupahe Krishnera Nityadas. So that relationship jnana is the first knowledge that we need to get. And who is the Archa Vigraha for this important process of building our relationship with the Lord? That is Radha Madan Mohan, right? Because that's why we always say this pranam mantra. What is that pranam mantra? Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jetam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matergati. Right? Right now we are extremely manda. That means we are extremely foolish. We don't know what is right, what is not right. Right? Mama Manda Matergati Mat Sarvasva Badam Bojau Shri Radha Madana Mohanau. So we pray to Radha Madan Mohan. I am extremely foolish. I am misguided. I am totally lost. I am hopeless. No, Radha Madan Mohan, please establish the Sambandha Gyan in my heart. That is why we pray to Madan Mohan Vigraha to help us establish this relationship with the Lord. Once the relationship is established, then it's easy, isn't it? So when somebody is married and goes to the in-laws house, automatically she starts serving her husband and her in-laws, right? But first the relationship has to be established. Otherwise, we don't know whom I should serve, why I should serve, how I should serve, right? So when my relationship with the Lord is established, then I go into the association of devotees who are all serving the Lord. And in their association, I also get instructions from my spiritual master. Prabhupada gives us so many instructions. How can I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That is called Abhideya. And that Abhideya process only Prabhupada will be explaining in the next verse, in the next paragraph, where the predominant deity for Abhideya is Radha Govinda deities. right? Radha Govinda. That means we also chant this prayer, right? Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaurad. Sorry, what is that verse? Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. When you're offering Bhoga to the Lord, we chant this prayer, right? Namo Mahavadanyaya, Namo Brahmanya Devaya. After this Panchatattva mantra, we chant this prayer where we say that Krishna is the protector of the cows and the Brahmanas. Namo Brahmanya Devaya. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. He always cares for the pleasure of Brahmanas and the cows. Right? Jagaditaya Krishnaya, who is the maintainer of the entire world. And who is he? Krishnaya. And what is he called? Govinda. Because Govinda means one who gives pleasure to the cows, to the senses of those who engage in devotional service. So in this way, the Abhideya process is represented by Govinda Deva. And then finally, Gopinath, right? Who is the Prayojana deity, right? What is the pranam mantra of Govinda Deva is? Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadrumatah Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prestalivi Sevya Mano Smarami. I offer respectful obeisances to Govinda ji, who is going to help me perform this Abhideya process, the process of Bhajana Kriya very nicely. And then what is that? Rasa Rasarambe, Vamshi Vata Tatastitaha, Karshan Venur, Swaner Gopir, Gopinath Shriyaspunaha. The Prayojana deities are Radha Gopinath. And Prayojana, we don't have to do anything. If we have our Sambandha correctly and we do our Abhideya correctly, Prayojana is simply a matter of the Lord's mercy upon us, right? Taking into account our sincerity. Right? So the next 2-3 paragraphs we're going to talk about Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath. What is the Abhideya process and what is the Prayojana process? Okay, so let's have somebody read this. Who'll read the next 2-3 paragraphs? Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. When this is established, what is this? This refers to the Sambandha Gyan. When this is established. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
When this is established, in the 16th verse, Krishnadasa offers his obeisances to the functional deity Govinda. The Govinda deity is called the functional deity because he shows us how to serve Radha and Krishna. The Madana Mohana deity simply establishes that I am your eternal servant. With Govinda, however, there is actual acceptance of service. Govinda resides eternally in Vrindavana. The spiritual world of Vrindavana, the buildings are made of touchstones. The cows are known as Surabhi cows, givers of abundant milk, and the trees are known as wish-fulfilling trees, for they yield whatever one desires. In Vrindavana, Krishna herds the Surabhi cows, and he is worshipped by hundreds and thousands of gopis, cowherd girls, who are all goddesses of fortune. When Krishna descends to the material world, the same Vrindavana descends with him, just as an entourage accompanies an important personage. Because when Krishna comes, his land also comes. Vrindavana is considered to exist beyond the material world. Therefore, devotees take shelter of the Vrindavana in India, for it is considered to be a replica of the original Vrindavana. Although one may complain that no Kalpavriksha, wish-fulfilling trees exist there, when the 6 Goswamis were there, Kalpavrikshas were present. It is not that one can simply go to such a tree and make demands. One must first become a devotee. The Goswamis would live under a tree for one night only, and the trees would satisfy all their desires. For the common man, this may all seem very wonderful, but as one makes progress in devotional service, all this can be realized. Vrindavana is actually experienced as it is by persons who have stopped trying to derive pleasure from material enjoyment. When will my mind become cleansed of all the hankering for material enjoyment, so I will be able to see Vrindavana? One great devotee asks. The more Krishna conscious we become and the more we advance, the more everything is revealed as spiritual. Thus, Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami considered the Vrindavana in India to be as good as the Vrindavana in the spiritual sky. And in the 16th verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he describes Radharani and Krishna as seated beneath a wish-fulfilling tree in Vrindavana on a throne decorated with valuable jewels. There, Krishna's dear Gopi friends serve Radha and Krishna by singing, dancing, offering betel nuts and refreshments, and decorating their lordships with flowers. Even today in India, people decorate swinging thrones and recreate this scene during the month of July, August. Generally, at that time, people go to Vrindavana to offer their respects to the deities there. Finally, Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami offers his blessings to his readers in the name of the Gopinatha deity, who is Krishna as master and proprietor of the gopis. When Krishna played upon his flute, all the gopis or covered girls were attracted by the sound and left their household duties. And when they came to him, he danced with them. These activities are all described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. These gopis were childhood friends of Krishna, and many were married. For in India, the girls are generally married by the age of 12. The boys, however, are not married before 18. So Krishna, who was 15 or 16 at that time, was not married. Nonetheless, he called these girls from their homes and invited them to dance with him. That dance is called the Rasa Leela dance, and it is the most elevated of all the Vrindavana pastimes. Krishna is therefore called Gopinatha because he is the beloved master of the gopis. Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami petitions the blessings of Lord Gopinatha. May that Gopinatha, the master of the gopis, Krishna bless you. May you become blessed by Gopinatha. The author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita prays that just as Krishna attracted the gopis by the sweet sound of his flute, he will also attract the reader's mind by the transcendental vibration.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah. So what does Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj do? He first prays to Radha Madan Mohan, then Radha Govindji and Radha Gopinathji, right? Who will establish our Sambandha, our Abhideya process, and finally give the Prayojana, which is completely be under the shelter of Radha Gopinath, the Lord of the Gopis. So in this way, we reiterate this fact that we are not going to imitate Lord Shri Krishna. Our understanding is we already have the Sambandha Gyan very, very clearly established. That means Jivera Swarupahe Krishnera Nitya Das. That means in all of these, we want to understand what are the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we want to put these teachings into our life in the proper perspective by taking into the mercy of Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govindji and Radha Gopinath. In this way, we want to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu following his instructions. And in this way, we will start now with the first chapter of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That will be in our Monday session, right? Now, let's quickly go to our Bhagavad Gita, right? So, in Bhagavad Gita also, what are we learning? We are learning the same thing. In chapter 4, Prabhupada explains in the purport. What does Prabhupada explain in the purport? Prabhupada explains in the purport how it is only by following the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master one is actually able to attain the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? We cannot directly jump and understand Krishna. We cannot directly jump and get the Prayojana from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No. We have to follow the instructions of our gurus. We have to follow the instructions of Prabhupada. In this way, when we render service, when the gurus are pleased with us, then by their recommendation, right? Even in the spiritual world, Radharani has to recommend us to Krishna. Only then we will be able to find a place to go to the spiritual world also. And even in the spiritual world, after we perfect our lives also, right? We are going to be serving under the instructions of our gurus there, right? So one should always follow Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, right? That's what we studied yesterday in Bhagavad Gita also, right? One can make progress when one has faith in the words of the spiritual master. Yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve tata guru. Tasya hi kathi athartha artatah. That artata means the purport of the Vedic literatures will only be revealed in the heart of one who has faith in the implicit faith in the Lord as well as the spiritual master. Yeah. So let's move forward. We have to start from text number 41. Okay, who will read? Okay, Mansi Mataji, go ahead. Text number 41. Mataji, if possible, you can switch on your camera also. Yeah. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text number 41.
Yoga Sanyasta Karmanam Jnana Sanchinna Samshayam Atmavantam Na Karmani Nibandhanti Dhananjaya. Yoga, by devotional service in Karma Yoga, Sanyasta, one who has renounced, Karmanam, the fruits of action, Jnana, by knowledge, Sanchinna, cut, Samshayam, doubts, Atmavantam, situated in the self, Na, never, Karmani, works, Nibandhanti, do bind, Dhananjaya, O conqueror of riches. Translation in Bhagavad Shulka Jai Shulka. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches. Purport. One who follows the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita as it is imparted by the Lord, the personality of Godhead himself, becomes free from all doubts by the grace of transcendental knowledge. He, as a part and parcel of the Lord, in full Krishna consciousness, is already established in self-knowledge. As such, he is undoubtedly above bondage to action. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So one who follows instruction of Bhagavad Gita, right? So we saw how in the previous sessions also, we saw how the instructions that Krishna gave to Arjuna is non-different from the instructions that we receive from our spiritual masters. Is non-different from the instructions that we receive from Prabhupada. How is it non-different? It is non-different because they are all coming in a bona fide Guru Parampara. When they are coming in the bona fide Guru Parampara, then whatever teachings, right, what they are giving is as it is. As Krishna gave those teachings. Similarly, the same teachings, right? Of course, it is elaborated by means of more examples according to the time, place, and circumstances. But the principles of the teaching remain the same. That is why when Srila Prabhupada, his disciples, and all of the acharyas in the bona fide Guru Parampara, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Parampara, when they all give the teachings, right, all of those teachings have the same impact as that of the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna himself, right? Why that impact is there? Because they don't add or subtract anything. What they give is exactly what they have received in the bona fide Guru Parampara from their spiritual masters. So that is why there is no difference between the instructions of the spiritual master and instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Right? And all of this knowledge has the potency to liberate us from the three modes of material nature. That is the next point. Right? Because instructions are non-different from Krishna's instruction, all of these instructions also, when followed properly, according to the way they're given, right? When we implement it properly, it's like just like when we take the doctor's medicines according to the right proportion, at the right time, the right dosage, what happens? We'll be cured of our disease, isn't it? So similarly, by taking these instructions according to, minimum 16 rounds to be chanted in the Brahma Muhurta time, to hear about Krishna, glorify Krishna, engage in the service of Krishna, if we do all of this properly as instructed to us by our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, then what happens? The result is that we will escape this disease of material existence. We'll get relieved of this disease of material existence. Okay, text number 42. Manasi Mataji read already. Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. Tasmat Ajnana Sambhutam.
Tasmad hastam gnanasinatmanah chitvainam sanshayam yogam atistotista bharata.
Synonyms?
Yes, tasmad. Therefore,
Ajnana Sambhutam.
Sambhutam, born of ignorance. Heartam, situated in the heart. Gnana, of knowledge. Asina, by the weapon. Armanaha, of the self.
Manaha.
Hitva, cutting off. Inam, this. Sansayam, doubt. Yogam, in yoga. Atistha, be situated. Uttishta, stand up to fight. Bharata, O descendant of Bharat. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be flashed by the weapon of knowledge, armed with yoga or Bharata, stand and fight. Purport. The yoga system instructed in this chapter is called Sanatanam Yoga, or eternal activities performed by the living entity. This yoga has two divisions of sacrificial actions. One is called sacrifice of one's material possessions, and the other is called knowledge of self, which is pure spiritual activity. If sacrifice of one's material possession is not detailed for spiritual realization, then such sacrifice becomes material. But one who performs such sacrifice with a spiritual objective or in devotional service makes a perfect sacrifice. When we come to spiritual activities, we find that these are also divided into two, namely understanding of one's own self or one's constitutional position and the truth regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who follows the path of Bhagavad Gita as it is can very easily understand these two important division of spiritual knowledge. For spiritual knowledge, for him there is no difficulty in obtaining perfect knowledge of the self as part and parcel of the Lord, and mm, such understanding is beneficial, for such a person can easily understand the transcendental activities of Supreme Lord himself. One who does not understand the instructions of the Gita is faithless. One is to be considered to be misusing the fragmental
Fragmented
understand
independence.
the fragmental independence awarded to him by the Lord. In spite of such instruction, one who does not understand the real nature of the Lord as the eternal, blissful, all-knowing personality of Godhead is certainly full number one. Ignorance can be removed by gradual acceptance of the principles of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is awakened by different types of sacrifice to the demigods, sacrifice to Brahman, sacrifice in celibacy, in household life, in controlling the senses, in practicing mystic yoga, in presence, in foregoing material possessions, in studying the Vedas and the partaking of social instruction called Varnashram Dharma. All of these are known as sacrifice, and all of them are based on regulated action. But within all these activities, the important factor is self-realization. One who seeks that objective is the real student of Bhagavad Gita. But one who doubts the authority of Krishna falls back. One is therefore advised to study Bhagavad Gita or any other scripture under a bona fide spiritual master with service and surrender. A bona fide spiritual master is in discipline succession from time eternal and time eternal, and he does not deviate at all form of instructions of the Supreme Lord as they were imparted a million of years ago to the sun god, from whom the instructions of Bhagavad Gita have come down to the earthly kingdom. One should therefore follow the path of Bhagavad Gita as it is expressed in Gita itself, and beware of self-interested people after personal aggrandizement
Who deviate others.
who deviate others from the actual path. The Lord is definitely the supreme person, and his activities are transcendental. One who understands this is a liberated person from very beginning of his study of Bhagavad Gita. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 4th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matters of transcendental knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So one should understand the Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master, follow the instructions of the Lord through the teachings of the spiritual master. In this way, please the teachers. In this way, please Krishna, and then in this way, go back home, back to Godhead. This is the transcendental knowledge that Krishna gave to Arjuna for the purpose of all of us, to deliver all of us from this conditioned life of material existence. Simply by following the teachings of Lord Sri Krishna as is given in the 4th chapter, which is entitled Transcendental Knowledge, right? By which we perform our work with this knowledge, and in this way go back home, back to Godhead. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So now we will have 2 minutes kirtan. Devotees can switch on your cameras to give darshan. I can see Karpagavali Mata now. So after that, if anyone has any queries or questions, we can take that. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Jai Jai Prabhupada Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hariam Sankirtan ki Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki Jai. Okay, we have Karpakavalli Mataji, Vrishamanu Kanya Mataji, Chitra Vrajasevini Mataji, Hari Bol, Manimala Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, and all the wonderful devotees. Thank you all for joining in. Although it was a Saturday today, not scheduled class, but you all joined in. Thank you very much. Okay, Mansi Mataji also finally decided to be merciful and giving us her darshan. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Meet you all at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning for the chanting session, and then at 12 o'clock. Oh, sorry. Tomorrow we meet for Brahma Muhurta only. Monday we'll meet for our Brahma Muhurta chanting as well as our study. Hare Krishna, and hope all of you are part of the welcome group. I'm saying festival group. So today we will be revising our 5th shloka. Tomorrow will be our 6th shloka in glorification of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. All right, thank you. Hare Krishna.
What time is Mataji?
So 5 o'clock is the chanting session. 12 o'clock is this session, TLC and Bhagavad Gita. The other one is you just have to be in the group. You know what are the shlokas. You have to study on your own, and then you have to mark a thumbs up that I've studied those shlokas. Okay, so you can join that group. I've given the link in our Zoom group. Okay.